Professor Warwick, read between the lines for us. What strategic message does the Tianjin Declaration send when viewed alongside alongside the optics of the Victory Parade, especially with the presence of leaders like Xi, Putin, and Kim?
I think what these two events does is that it amplifies the unfolding patterns, if you will, and the forces that have been at work in the global political economy over the course of the last 20 years or so, and perhaps accelerating in the last 10 to 15 years. And that is that the shape of international relationships, both at an economic level and then subsequently from that at a political or institutional level, is evolving away from an environment in which the United States in particular, but the United States and Western Europe together have formed a core or a central pivot focus around which the developing world functions really as peripheral suppliers of raw materials and cheap labor, to an environment that is a lot more multinodal in nature. So rather than a hubs and spokes model of global political economic architecture, we are now starting to see one that looks a lot more like a neural network with many nodes and a lot more multi-dimensional interactions between these nodes. And that, unsurprisingly, is now feeding well and truly into the institutional setup. So, at a political level, the dominance of the United States in particular, and together with its NATO partners in Europe, over the ways in which global institutions have worked, and when they haven't worked in the interests of the dominant powers, how they've been discarded in the name of the liberal international rules-based order. All of that is giving way, and it's giving way because economic and technological capability is no longer monopolized by a small number of countries. That is what the two events really tells us, is that the evolution that has been underway now in the world for 20 years or so has become very obvious now. So it's not a new thing, but perhaps we can think of it as a moment in an evolutionary process that causes us to adjust our focus, and hopefully for those who may not have been as aware of these changes or have not wanted to accept that these changes have been taking place, these two events are a sufficient provocation from the realm of reality to shake the um, the the old prejudices away and for people to see the world as it is unfolding before us.